Hello everyone, and welcome back to Farming Sim 19. So I actually did go ahead off camera and pick up the rest of our straw. It had gone up to $150, so I figured let's get a few more thousands. So we now have 74.5 in the bank, and again that is loanless. Loanless? Debtless. We have no loans. So that is all just our money, all net. So today we need to start planting. So I sort of cleaned up our farm a little bit and got our vehicles in order, but otherwise I didn't do anything else besides straw and move our vehicles around. So we need to fill up this planter with seed, and I really like the pallet seed just because it looks nice, and as you fill it up the seed bags like disappear off the pallet. So we get 2100 from that, and we can just hit R to refill. If you're not on a computer, you can check your controls, because I don't know the controller. We'll call that good. It filled it up 2/3 full. If we bought another one, we'd have just a pallet sitting around, and then I would have to buy a front loader attachment and all that, which I need to buy anyway at some point, but I just don't want to deal with it right now. Plus we're so close to the shop that it should be fine. When we need more, we'll just drive back to the shop. Now this looks fertilized. It looks really dark, but it says 0. So I think hopefully what we can do is fertilize it first, then plant, then fertilize immediately after, so we don't have to wait around. And that'll give us our 2 growth stages. We can also check the map. So field 21 is harvested, but we want this. So we have nothing. And we just basically want it to be dark, or we want it to be light blue. So I'm going to do 1 strip of fertilizing. And this has a pretty good spread. It's okay if we don't get every inch, but yeah, that'll be good. So we'll just do 1 strip here, and then we'll get the planter and make sure that it stays light blue once we plant over it. And then we'll have to see if we can immediately fertilize. We may have to wait till the first growth stage, which is fine because we need to weed then anyway. This is another reminder, I also have to get the planter down here. Yeah, at a certain point I really just probably need to get the field deleter thing and just delete like 2 rows. But for now we can just do a strip this way. Try not to waste too much of the fertilizer in the process. Shut it off. Okay, we'll just leave that there for now, and let's go do just a little planting. Probably not even a full row, but just enough to test this. So you can see it is darker. If we scrolled over it, it would say 50% fertilized. Unfold this thing. That's not going to get everything. I needed a little overlap. Lower and turn on. And there we go. So just a little bit. And then when we check, hitting all the wrong buttons, it still says 50, so I think we're good. So let's finish fertilizing, and then we'll go back up and do a top row over there. So you can see I got my equipment over there. We don't own that land, so we can't put a shed or anything. But I think one of our goals will be to just start buying up land around here. I kind of want this patch of land for grass, and then we can also maybe put sheds, get some animals as well. This should do it. So I did finish my, I call it a tutorial, the Alpine DLC tutorial. It's really not a tutorial, it's just I don't want to create like a new series for it. So it just sort of fits best under tutorials. That's how I've always done DLCs. So finished that up this morning, spent some time just kind of playing around with it off camera. Oh gosh, we don't need to. There. So yeah, I like how it turned out. Basically, I just showed the kind of the starting area. If you do a start, like a, I can't remember the option. When you do this, the new game where you start with buildings and equipment and stuff, I showed that off, kind of where you start, which is where we started in episode 1. Oh, it's so weird to see the needs plowing all the grass. We can just shut that off, and that. There we go. Yeah, so you start here. You start with the electric tractor and a couple other tractors, a truck, I'm just going to do one more row. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll save us some fertilizer. Actually, it'll be maybe 100%. Start with a lot of stuff for mowing, and so you don't even start with a field. You just start with like the grass around your house. You do start with the house, if I didn't say that. So basically, yeah, you start with the mower, baler, loading wagon, like baler tool to pick up bales. I think it's a round baler. Yeah, so just stuff to basically mow and pick up mowed stuff, which I guess is grass. But yeah, you don't start with the field, and then you have $100,000 and no debt. So yeah, you start with the electric tractor and an electric charging station. So it's actually a really good start. And cows, you start with the cow pasture. So pretty cool. I still like that we just started with nothing and we get to kind of decide what we do, but you definitely start with a lot farther ahead than we did. Let's see, and then I showed off some of the interesting new equipment, or I mean that's subjective, so what was interesting to me. And so I showed off the handheld mower, which is actually really cool. I didn't even look at the price. Mowers. Is it not under mowers? That's weird. Yeah, because you just start with it, so I didn't actually look at it in the shop. What? Where is it? Oh, I wonder if it's under... Oh, weird. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So it's 14,000, so super cheap mower. It's got a 2-meter range, even though it felt longer, but it's literally a handheld mower. Like you just like push it, kind of like a push mower. So kind of a cool, cheap option, and it just looks neat, like pushing a mower around as opposed to driving a mower around. So I showed that off. I show off the electric car at the charging station, and then a tractor. And I show off the like truck, like little semi-trailer truck. So the tractor is this one, the electric, and the truck is this thing, the Unitrack. And like I said on like an episode or two ago with the loading wagons, that's what you need to do this one, this Swiss Elite, and it attaches onto that. So show off all that, and then I do like a really quick drive around the map. Just kind of show the aesthetics. I don't really show, there's really not a lot to show off. Like there's nothing new, but show off the aesthetics. And then I finish showing off the train, driving off to kind of how to load it and unload it. Well, load it. And then how to drive it off into the Felsbrunn mill. And of course I give people a little warning that, let's do 2 passes. That if you're doing a mission and you have excess, that you may not want to send your excess because you might just lose it. I still think that's a bug. I still think that they will fix that so you actually get your money. I'm referring to last episode where we lost like 15 grand, but maybe that's supposed to be how they want it to work. I don't know. It was weird to me. So yep, that was it. So yeah, I don't really show off anything that, yeah, that's it. That was the, took about 11.5 minutes, which is longer than I wanted to be for a tutorial, but it kind of by the time I showed everything I wanted to, I don't think I could have really condensed it any more than I did. You know, I skipped loading screens, stuff like that, but it's still just, it's kind of a lot of stuff to show off. Okay, so now we hire a worker. Because workers can drive in straight lines and I can't. Probably because I never practice and I always hire workers. I wanted to get that trailer over there. Oh well. Now, instead of just sitting here watching this, I figured we could check missions and see if there's anything we want to do. Spraying missions are always easy, but you do have to buy the spray. But then I think they reimburse you for it. Of course, harvesting missions if they're not the Felsbrunn grain mill. Cotton's interesting. I haven't worked with cotton for a long time. Corn's pretty easy. We could do corn. Supermarket. What's the price? Corn supermarket. It's not bad. Wait, supermarket. Yeah, let's do that. I haven't harvested corn for a long time. We will definitely have to borrow. These are all sowing. Now let's do corn. And then with corn, one thing we can do is instead of profiting off of the extra, we could always just put the extra in the train silo and keep it. Though at this stage of the game, we probably just need money, so we'll probably just profit off of it. And of course, I didn't look at the field. 8. That blue field across the way. Yeah, if we had pigs, we would definitely be saving up the corn, but that could be so far out that it's probably not worth worrying about. That might be one of our first animals, though. Like, I know horses make a big profit, as we found out in the $1 Million series, but since we just spent all that time with horses, I probably will do something a bit different. But again, we have to have land for that, so could all be a ways away. You know, in the last episode I said our goal should be a new tractor. It might be land. Land and animals. Because we can always do missions if we need something to do. Cornfield 8. Now, what we'll do is we'll make it square first. So if we do want to hire a worker at some point, we can. Oh. Wait. I unfolded the header, not the... There. So to the best of our ability, we'll drive straight on and just cut out a nice row, and then we'll go to the west side and do the same. Well, I call it the west. This game calls it the east. Notice that this is east and this is west, which is backwards from our orientation. East should be here. West, I don't know. I'm missing something there. Anyway. So there's one nice row finished. Then shut it off so we can go a little faster, and we'll go square it up over here. Go into nice. I do like the harvest view on vehicles, and you can just sort of try to aim your, like for corn, you can try to aim that center point right down the row. Not sure if that works really well, because again, I don't practice it enough, but it seems to be okay right now. There we go. Go back out. And now we can, I think this will work. We'll hire a worker temporarily and go pick up our trailer. I do hope the performance is better, maybe noticeably better. I don't know if it's ever been that bad on video, but for some reason I had it set at 1440p still, which of course I render in 1080p, so there's no point to record at 1440p, I don't think. So I don't know why I had it set at that resolution. So I changed it down to 1080p, so it should be recording a lot easier, a lot smoother. Though I guess there are still little hiccups on my end at least. Alright, let's check our planter. So that's another thing we could do. We could buy a corn header for this and go help and really knock that out. But I don't know how much a corn header is, and it's probably more than I want to spend, because we'd probably want to get this nice big one. 50, yeah, that'd be all our money. So probably not right now. Our planter is, oops, doing pretty good, a little over halfway. And we can take over this and save ourselves some worker money. So I think what I'll do is I'll just sort of skip ahead to either when the planter is done or when we are... it's a big field. I don't know if we'll get this finished this episode, but I'll skip ahead to when something more exciting happens than this. See you soon. All right, we are finishing up the planting here, and we're done. Okay, let's fold this up. So I do have the setting, I didn't even mean to do this, but I have the setting on where if you hire a worker, it like buys the seed as they work, which will just in the long run save us trips. So when I do it manually, it'll take away like the seed and all that, but when a worker does it, it'll just keep it full, but we still pay for it, I think, it seems like. And again, that'll just save us trips to the store. So if we look here, this is at 50. And this, of course, is light blue. Now, we need to figure out when can we fertilize again. So if I just do a little check here, just a little test strip, it looks like we can do it right away. Yep. So let's do as much as we can with this 8% left, and then we'll go to the store and refill. We also need to empty out the corn harvester. Yeah, I doubt we're gonna get, we're not gonna get the whole field finished with this, but we can get one pass, maybe that top pass finished, and then fill it back up. Those birds are gonna get sprayed. They don't seem to mind, which seems unlikely. All right. We can probably speed up time a little. I don't want to get to the... It doesn't matter, I guess, since we already have it fertilized once. If we get to the second growth stage, it doesn't affect anything fertilizer-wise. So we'll go to 5 speed just for now. Let's go 15. And then once we're fertilized, we'll speed it up and get to that first weeding stage. Okay, let's take a little break here to empty this. We already have 7,000. Not sure how much this holds, the harvester or the tipper, but all we have to do is go underneath and then we can just leave it alone. I really want this to empty. The reason is that I don't want to fill up the fertilizer and then have any pallet, like any left over for on a pallet, because then you just have a pallet sitting around, and I just don't want to deal with that. And you can't sell them back. You know, the most you can do is refill your fertilizer with it and then waste it. So, yeah, if we can just, there now. Oh, that actually worked out really well. So we'll fill it up. We'll have like one more pass to go. Got a big old wage payment because we had 2 workers, the harvester and the planter. And time was slow, so what it does is you only pay on the hour. So if time's really fast, you make a lot of little tiny payments, and if time is really slow, then you'll just make one big one at the end of the hour. We want solid. Oh, you can buy bales. I think I forget that all the time. That's cool. It's good to remember and just see it right there in plain sight. So we need a solid fertilizer bag. This gives us 1,000. And you can just drive by it and refill. You'll have to hit, I hit R, and again, just check your controls. Let's just buy 2 more. Let's see, solid. Looks like this can hold 3 of them, so we might as well just top it off. I'm glad I sold that straw, because we're already back down to where we were before I sold it, just because we had to buy all this fertilizer. But of course we'll make all that up with the extra yield we'll be getting from the soybeans. And we'll do one more pass, even if it doesn't quite get it all, but I think it will. Good. Okay, we can probably go 120. Get time going. I don't know if... I've never seen it. Not that I've like experienced missions a lot, but I don't know if crops in a mission that you've accepted wither. Like, I guess I assume they do. I just haven't seen it, so I don't think speeding up the time is going to hurt us. We can go to growth, so it's still in that light yellow, and we'll just kind of keep an eye on it. And once it gets to that dark, if it gets to that dark gold, then we know we're just a little bit away from withering. So let's go back to this tractor. We'll set down the fertilizer and we'll go pick up our weeder from the shop. So right now we should be at 100% fertilizer, and yeah, basically once those weeds pop up on the first growth stage, we can de-weed them. If it gets past that and gets to the growth stage after that, we'll notice the flower, like the weeds and they kind of look like flowers, will be really big. Then we have to either take the hit on the yield, or we'd have to buy a sprayer and get herbicide. I would probably just take the hit on the yield since we don't have a sprayer, we have a spreader. So, oh, buzz. All right, let's unfold this. So we have the first growth stage, but not weeds yet. Oh, this weeder is so much larger. That is really nice. I'm just going to set it up. Okay, and you can see them popping in there. So it looks like the whole field is covered in weeds, so let's slow down time. Now if we check it, it'll be, wait, there, weeds. And easily enough, you just lower it. You don't have to turn it on or anything. It just rips up, and you can zoom in and we'll see kind of those weeds. You'll just see them kind of rip out as we drive over it. So even with this larger one, and this is the largest one I think they had, it's still going to be a while. So what I'll do is I'll get to here, and I'll do this top row like we always have to do. And then hire a worker and let it finish off camera. And I'll show you the field deleter before we go. So in the olden days, in Farming Sim 13 and 15, and I can't remember if the field deleter is new, this one or 17. But in the olden days, if you wanted to sort of quote-unquote like delete a field, you would just turn it to grass. You would just sow grass, and then it would just be grass, and then you'd have to plow it if you wanted it to be field again. And now what you do is they actually have a special tool that you roll over. Okay. Can't quite tell where the weeds are. There we go. So we check out the map. There we go. And it's all dark blue. So we are going to get max yield on this once this is finished. And I think it's under miscellaneous, the deleter thing. Yeah, it's that thing. You can restore the initial ground state delete fields. And you literally just roll over it, and it just turns it into like this normal grassland. It might be worth doing that down there, but at this point I don't want to mess up any of our yields, so it's something to look forward to later when we have maybe more land. My gosh, this is already full again. So here's what we will do. We'll let the weeder go, and we'll let this guy go, and I think before the next episode I'll just go ahead and finish weeding, of course, and I'll go ahead and finish this harvest. I won't finish the mission. I'll do all that on camera, but I'll let the harvester finish all this corn and fill up this wagon. So that'll be done before the next episode starts, and then the next episode we can get that our field harvested and we can get this mission completed. And that'll be another day on this farm. So thank you so much for joining. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Like, subscribe, comment below if you want. And of course, as always, have yourselves a very nice day.